welcome to Third Coast Sports TV. I'm your host, Wink, and today we're going to be discussing the fight between Errol Spence and Showtime Shawn Porter. I want to go ahead and give my thoughts. The weigh-in is completed. Both fighters came at weight. Both of these guys have been talking smack, throughout the entire process. This fight has been heavily promoted, by Fox and PBC. And I just wanted to give, a few points as to why I believe that Shawn Porter is going to lose this fight, and Errol Spence is going to do everything he can with his team to make sure he wins this fight. So you guys, make sure you guys, and once you get in here, hit that like button. If you like the content, go ahead and subscribe. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get into some of the major key points of why I think that Errol Spence is going to end up dominating this fight. Because I think it's going to be flat-out domination. I do not think the fight is going to be close whatsoever. Most of the pundits who happen to be picking this fight, whether it's fight fans, analysts, and hell, even the casual boxing fan, are all going for Errol Spence. While he's putting on for the state of Texas, man, this man is going to show up and he's going to show out. One of the last times that we seen Errol Spence have the weight on a fight that he had really been longing for, we saw what he did when it came to Kell Brook, and he dominated this man in his own house in another country and came back with the IBF belt. What's going on, Mr. Killer KB? Y'all make sure y'all smash that like button. I had did this video, but it came up as an upcoming event, so it didn't end up posting. So I'm redoing the live stream. I'm just gonna do it for a few minutes to get my breakdown for this fight coming this weekend. But one of the major things that I think that Errol Spence is going to be able to do, I think for starters, he has the more effective coach. Derrick James, man, he's otherworldly, man. Outside of a few trainers, there are a few trainers that I like. I love Barry Hunter, who happens to be in the corner of Shawn Porter this weekend. I love what he's done. I love Virgil Hunter. I like Nacho Berestein. I love, of course, Floyd Sr., and I loved Roger Mayweather. There are many other trainers out here who are doing very well for their fighters, but I feel, as it stands right now, Derrick James is the best trainer, and it shows with what he's able to do with Errol Spence. Not only does this man listen to his instruction, he appreciates the attributes, and he does everything he can to enhance the abilities of Errol Spence. Eastside Herald, the fight is going to end up being at the Staples Center. It's going to be tomorrow night. Make sure y'all get that pay-per-view, man. Make sure y'all support this fight. This is going to be a great fight. The undercard is a good fight, too, between Darrell and David Benavidez. It's going to be another great fight. But back to what I was saying about Errol Spence's ability and his coach being Derrick James. Derrick James is doing everything to make sure that he's doing it, everything in his power to make sure that he has the right conditioning, which you can very well see that, man, Errol Spence is chiseled up. Man, this boy is ready to go. He made weight. It's fight time. They've been talking the right amount of smack. These guys have been going back and forth. And to be honest, I don't really think a lot of what Shawn Porter was saying in a lot of these press conferences and weigh-ins, I don't think he really believes what he was saying. I mean, he was saying it out of necessity because he didn't want to look foolish on the platform. He has to try to sell the fight in some way, but, the mannerism of Errol Spence is just entirely too much, whether he's quiet, whether he's saying something, and whether he just happens to look in his direction, man. The man means business, and this is going to be a hell of a fight going down this weekend. What's going on, DeMarcus Johnson? Welcome to the stream. Y'all make sure y'all smash that like button for me. But another key thing that I think is going to end up taking over in this fight, I think angles, conditioning, and the fact that he trained, in Texas throughout the entire time. We all know how hot it is in Texas. Houston, Texas native. I know Dallas is hot as well. And the fact that he's able to chamber the gym that he was, and the fact that this man was sparring heavyweights, it is nothing punching wise that I feel that I don't think Shawn Porter is going to be able to hurt Errol Spence whatsoever. Like, it's going to have to be an absolute, flash punch. It's going to have to be something crazy that nobody sees. It's going to have to be perfect on everything. His technique is going to have to be perfect, but technique has been a problem of Shawn Porter throughout this entire process, and this is a major reason why I can't truly be on his side as a fight fan. I love technical fighters. While I appreciate every style and he does everything he can to get it, to get every job done, in every fight, for me personally, it's just not, pleasing to my eye. While I'm looking at this fight objectively, and he does have the conditioning. He does, have a rapport with his father, who I don't feel is, an excellent trainer. I really don't feel that Kenny Porter does anything to increase the skill set of a fighter of Shawn Porter's stature. I feel like if he went under the wings of somebody else and got a little bit more technical, then Shawn Porter would be a completely different fighter. And the fact that he's taken a lot of punches and a lot of abuse over the last few fights that he's had since he's become a champion, I really don't feel that he's able to hurt any top contender going in any fight that he's had over the last few years. I mean, I think it was real easy to look very good against Adrien Broner. Especially due to the way that Adrien Broner has been doing over the last few years. But make no mistake, Adrien Broner was able to put this man on his ass in the 12th round. As soon as the bell rang, he caught him with a nice check right hook. And, Shawn Porter, was up looking at him like, oh, okay, this fight is going to go, the whole 12. He figured he had been dominating AB throughout the entire fight. He thought that he was just going to go away. It didn't happen like that. And, he needed to stay on his toes. And I think that Errol Spence is going to be able to punch at different angles. His jab, he's going to be able to switch it up. He's going to be able to go over the top, underneath, and he's going to be able to stay in the pocket and control range all night when it comes to the Shawn Porter fight. As I stated, I think he's going to be able to cut the ring off extremely well. I also believe his speed is going to be entirely too much. While I do think both fighters are in great condition and will be able to go the full 12 rounds, I don't see this fight going 12 rounds. I see this fight easily going to the 9th round, and it's two ways that I see Errol Spence knocking out Shawn Porter, which I'm predicting. I see him either getting stopped from an uppercut on the ropes, or I see him getting hit with a body shot and he's coming underneath and he hits him with a left or right hook to the body. Either one, I just feel one way he's not going to be able to recover from it. It's your boy Roman. Spence got good defense. Yeah, he has great defense. Something that Shawn Porter does not have. And that's a major key why Errol Spence is going to be able to go off. And the fact that, as I stated, he's taken a lot of punishment throughout this, throughout his career for the last few years. And the fact that he hasn't been able to hurt any top opponent, whether it was Keith Thurman. I mean, he was able to bully Berto and a few other fighters, but I wouldn't say that from him punching them that he actually did any work from that. I don't see his jab really. I mean, to me, his jab is overrated. I'm not really that threatened about anything that he brings to the table when it comes to Errol Spence. I pretty much summed up everything that I think that he's really going to be able to take advantage of. I think his punch rate is going to be at an extremely high level, even higher, especially since he let every fight fans know that he didn't do any conditioning or anything his last fight against Mikey Garcia. As you see in the last little, the later rounds, Spence, I don't want to say he was tired, but he did look a little fatigued because, his condition probably wasn't where it wanted to be. But because he's extremely motivated and he wants to get this WBC title, which he will have after tomorrow night, I see no reason why he doesn't walk out with his head held high with a knockout in front of everybody in the country who's watching this fight. I advise everybody to make sure that they go ahead and buy this pay-per-view. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to bring this video to a close. I have Shawn Porter getting stopped in 9 rounds. A lot of people have been picking between 8 and 10 rounds. I'm going with 9. I think that's going to be the magic number for Errol Spence tomorrow night. And I want to give a special shout out to K-Ho from Black Fight Fan TV, for Non-International, Ronald Finkley, the whole LDBC, including the general 78 Sports TV. You guys make sure you guys hit those guys up. Dante's Boxing Nation, Boxing Ego, the Boxing Voice, plenty of other channels along with Fight Hub that put out good information. And can't forget Blue Blood Sports TV. You guys make sure that you guys hit those channels up if you want some more boxing news. I will end up doing some more boxing news, as these fights are coming along. But I had to do a special video on this, especially after the weigh-in just happened a few hours ago. So you guys make sure you tune into that fight tomorrow night. It's going to be a good fight tomorrow. Go to a fight party, go to Buffalo Wild Wings, order it at home, do whatever you got to do. If you have to stream it, do so. But I advise everybody to make sure that you go out and go spend some money and support Errol Spence, especially if you're from the state of Texas. Do everything you can to make sure that this man gets his worth and that he becomes the #1 pound-for-pound fighter in the nation, as well as the world. But as it stands right now, I'm Third Coast Sports TV, your host Wink. Talk sports, love sports, enjoy sports. You guys have a good one.